This is paper birch. Birch trees, you can tap them in the spring and make sap with them. Tastes very much like molasses in my opinion. One of the things First Nations used to do with paper birch, because it has natural oils in it, you would put your food in it and then bury it in the ground, and that would be a food cache, and the oils help prevent it from rotting. The other thing they would do is they would melt the birch bark and make a glue out of it, and or use that glue for starting fires too, because it's the oils from it. And there's some really nifty artwork, some birch bark biting. I don't know if you can see that. This is a hoof fungus, which grows exclusively to paper birch. And if you're lost in the woods and you want to transport your fire, you can hollow out the area where the gills are. Put your embers from your fire out here, in here, and hang on to this and you won't feel the heat. And you can rebuild your fire off of your embers. You can also use it for your personal smudges and those kind of things. This is a plant called diamond willow. Sand willow is the real name of the plant, but it has all these nifty little grooves in it, and so there's a spoon made out of one. This basket's made from the root of a cedar tree, and it's all one solid plant there. This is a doll made from cattails. And cattails are the smorgasbord of all wild foods. This time of year, what's edible on it is the root system, the tubers. And again, you can dry it out into a flour and make them into biscuits and dumplings as well. My favorite part is the pollen in the early spring when it's yellow. Well, not early spring, it's usually, depends on the weather, end of June. The bright yellow pollen can be collected and made into biscuits and pancakes and cakes. And the leaves in the early spring, you can pluck them out and pull off the top leaves and eat the center, and it tastes like cucumber. So again, cattails are the smorgasbord of all wild foods, but you need to know your water source because it is a filtering plant. For example, the town of Aberdeen uses it to clean their sewage system. So if you ate those cattails, you would get E. coli. You don't want to do that. This is buffalo berry, and this is a good one about this time of year because these berries need that first touch of frost. And if you pick these berries and put them with some crushed ice and shake them really vigorously, they'll foam up on their own, so you have a Slurpee that's good for you because it's high in vitamin C. I've had plants, some of them taste like tangerine oranges, and another one right next to it is so bitter you can't eat it. So it kind of really depends on the shrub, but some of them are delicious and some of them are super sour. This is one scarlet mallow, which is the same as the other mallow. Well, not the same, but they're related. And again, the root on this is edible and tastes like marshmallow. It's a gorgeous little plant. Grows in native top prairie. And speaking of native top prairie, this is Indian breadroot. And this is an important crop for the First Nations people that lived in this area. You'd move your entire camp for this plant. It grows in the early spring, and what grows on it is what's called a tuber, which is like a potato. Another name for it is wild turnip. It has this string root first before you get to the taproot. And the taproot can be as big as your fist to as thick as your thumb. And it can be dried out in the sun, ground into flour, or sliced and eaten as in soups and stews. It tastes very similar to taro root. The nice thing about this is when you do eat it, it's a starch, and it doesn't convert to sugar like a potato starch does. So it's good for people who have diabetes. This is flax, and there's the flower. That flower only lasts a day, and then it turns into the seed head, and the seeds are edible on it as well. The stalk makes a really good rope from it. It makes a nice strong rope. The kinnicknick, those berries are edible as well, actually. They're considered a survival berry as well because they aren't a fleshy berry. So if you're lost in the woods in the middle of winter, you can wipe the snow off an area where it's eroding. You'll likely find these berries and you can eat them. So high in vitamin C. This one here is bulrushes. People mistake cattails and bulrushes. Cattails have a flatter leaf. Bulrushes are a tubular leaf, okay. So that's the difference between, and that's a basket. The other thing First Nations used to use bulrushes for, if you dry them out in the sun, a crystal forms it, and it's quite sweet, the inside of it. This is scouring rush, and if you need a nail file, this is nature's nail file. So this is a fish hook made from a hawthorn plant. It too has a red berry on it, and you can eat that berry as well. So nature has everything out there. You just need to know what you're looking for and find the right alley.